Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the constant noise around you? Do you find yourself relying on others for validation or support? What if I told you that doing it alone could be the key to unlocking your true potential? Imagine for a moment. When was the last time you were truly alone with your thoughts, without distractions or the need for approval? In today's fast-paced world, we often forget that some of the greatest growth happens when we step away from the noise and embrace solitude. Here's a simple example. Think about a time when you tried to solve a problem with others involved. Maybe they had their own opinions, distractions, or even doubts that slowed you down. Now, think about when you tackled something alone. Yes, it might have felt harder at first, but didn't you feel more in control? That's because solitude forces you to trust yourself, and that trust is where true power comes from. This is exactly what we'll be exploring in this video. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, your guide to unlocking ancient wisdom for modern lives. Before we dive deeper into today's topic, let's take a quick moment. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel if you find value in what you're about to hear. Every click helps us bring more meaningful content to you. In Buddhism, solitude is not about loneliness or isolation. Instead, it's about finding peace within yourself, away from the distractions of the world. Buddha himself spent long periods in isolation, meditating under the Bodhi tree before reaching enlightenment. Through solitude, you begin to confront your thoughts, embrace your strengths, and, most importantly, recognize that everything you need to thrive already exists within you. As you embrace solitude, you gain a deeper understanding of your own mind. This clarity is crucial in making better decisions, managing stress, and even building self-confidence. Alone time allows you to focus on your inner world without outside influences pulling you in different directions. The philosophy of inner strength in Buddhism. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why we sometimes feel lost or powerless, even when we seem to have everything we need? It's not the world outside that makes us weak. It's the world within. The strength you seek, the confidence you crave, and the peace you yearn for are not found in external things, but within you. This is the core of the philosophy of inner strength in Buddhism. In our daily lives, we rely so much on things outside ourselves. Other people's opinions, material possessions, status, or even fleeting emotions. But the truth is, these things are unstable. They change, they fade, they leave. What Buddhism teaches us is that real strength doesn't come from what you can grab onto outside. It comes from what you build inside. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop looking for approval from others. You stop feeling insecure when things don't go your way. You stop panicking when the world seems chaotic. Instead, you find a sense of calm and power because you've cultivated it within yourself. This is what Buddhists call inner strength, and it's something no one can ever take away from you. So, how do we cultivate this inner strength? The first step is understanding that life is full of suffering, which is one of the core teachings of Buddhism, what we call the Four Noble Truths. Life is full of challenges. There will always be difficulties, whether it's dealing with failure, rejection, loss, or simply the uncertainties of life. But instead of fearing these challenges, Buddhism encourages us to face them head-on. Why? Because it is in these moments of struggle that our true strength is forged. Imagine a tree growing on a mountain. If that tree had never faced harsh winds, freezing cold, or burning sun, it would never grow strong roots. It would be weak, and a simple storm could knock it over. But because that tree has faced adversity, it has grown deep roots. It can withstand anything. You are that tree, and life is your mountain. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow those roots deeper. In Buddhism, this idea is deeply connected to the practice of mindfulness. When you practice mindfulness, you're not just meditating or sitting quietly. You are training yourself to be fully present in the moment, to see things as they are without judgment. This might sound simple, but it's powerful. Because when you can observe your thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them, you begin to realize that they don't control you. You control them. Let's take an example from daily life. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, and it's making you frustrated. Your mind starts racing with thoughts like, "Why is this happening to me?" Or, "I'm going to be late, and everything will fall apart." But here's the thing. Is the traffic really the problem? Or is it your mind's reaction to the traffic that's causing you distress? The traffic is just traffic. It doesn't have the power to make you feel anything unless you allow it to. Through mindfulness, you can observe your frustration and realize that it's just a passing feeling. You don't have to get swept up in it. This ability to step back and observe your thoughts is a key part of building inner strength. When you realize that you are not your thoughts, that you are not your emotions, you start to see that you have a choice in how you respond to life's challenges. This is where your strength lies, not in avoiding difficulties, but in how you face them. Another important aspect of inner strength in Buddhism is the concept of non-attachment. Now, non-attachment doesn't mean you don't care about anything. It means that you don't cling to things that are impermanent. And everything is impermanent: people, situations, feelings, even your own thoughts. When you become attached to something, you give it the power to affect your happiness. But when you practice non-attachment, you learn to appreciate things without depending on them for your peace of mind. Let's think about it like this. Imagine you're holding a beautiful flower in your hand. It's vibrant, full of life, and brings you joy. But eventually, that flower will wither and die because that's the nature of all living things. If you cling to the flower and refuse to let go, its passing will bring you pain. But if you appreciate the flower for what it is, without becoming attached to it, you can enjoy its beauty without suffering when it's gone. In the same way, when you stop clinging to external things, whether they are people, experiences, or material possessions, you free yourself from the fear of loss and the pain of attachment. Inner strength is also about cultivating compassion, both for yourself and for others. In Buddhism, strength isn't just about being tough or resilient. It's about being kind, gentle, and understanding, especially toward yourself. Often, we are our own harshest critics. We beat ourselves up for our mistakes, for our failures, for not being good enough. But true strength comes from accepting yourself as you are, flaws and all. When you practice self-compassion, you start to see that your mistakes don't define you. They are just part of your journey. Instead of getting stuck in a cycle of self-criticism, you can learn from your mistakes and grow stronger because of them. And when you cultivate compassion for others, you also grow stronger. You realize that everyone is facing their own struggles, just like you. This understanding connects you to others and gives you the strength to face life's challenges with grace and empathy. Now, let's take a moment to talk about balance. In Buddhism, strength isn't just about pushing yourself to the limit. It's about finding a balance between effort and rest, between action and reflection. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is to take a step back, breathe, and give yourself the space to recharge. This is where practices like meditation come in. Meditation isn't about escaping the world or avoiding problems. It's about finding the stillness within yourself so that you can face the world with a calm and focused mind. Meditation helps you build inner strength by giving you the tools to quiet your mind and connect with your true self. When you meditate, you're not just sitting there doing nothing. You're training your mind to stay present, to let go of distractions, and to focus on what really matters. Over time, this practice helps you develop mental clarity, emotional resilience, and a deep sense of inner peace. In conclusion, the philosophy of inner strength in Buddhism teaches us that true power comes from within. It's not about what you have or what others think of you. It's about how you handle life's challenges, how you stay grounded in the face of adversity, and how you cultivate peace and compassion in your heart. This inner strength is available to each and every one of us. It doesn't matter where you are in life or what you've been through. The potential for inner strength is already within you. All you need to do is tap into it, nurture it, and let it guide you on your journey. Breaking free from dependence. The art of doing things alone, breaking free from the chains of dependence. Most people think they need someone else to feel strong, to succeed, to find peace. But, my dear student, let me tell you something. True strength, true peace, true success comes from within. Relying on others is like building your house on sand. It may stand for a time, but eventually it will fall. What you must build is a foundation of stone, a foundation within yourself. Think about it. How often do we lean on others, not because we need help, but because we've been trained to believe that we cannot do it alone? We live in a world where interdependence is valued, And yes, to some extent, we need connections. But there is a difference between interdependence and dependence. When you are interdependent, you work with others while maintaining your own strength, your own power. But dependence, that is the danger. It weakens you, slowly draining away your inner strength until you can no longer stand on your own. Buddhism teaches us the value of self-reliance. The Buddha himself was once a prince, surrounded by luxury, constantly attended by others. But did that bring him enlightenment? No. Only when he left behind the comforts, the wealth, the dependence on others did he begin his true journey. He meditated alone, fasted alone, wandered the forests alone. Through this solitude, he realized that the answers were not outside, but within. When you are constantly relying on others, you are giving away your power. You are saying, I cannot do this alone. I need someone else to help me through. And while it is not wrong to seek help occasionally, you must understand that the most important journey, the journey to self-mastery, is one you must walk alone. No one can do it for you. No one can think your thoughts, feel your emotions, or see the world through your eyes. It is your journey, and yours alone. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you sat with a problem by yourself, without seeking advice from others? When was the last time you trusted your own wisdom? In today's world, when faced with a challenge, most people rush to ask someone else for their opinion. They consult friends, family, colleagues, sometimes even strangers on the internet. But rarely do they turn inward, trusting their own inner compass. This is where dependence weakens us. It takes away our confidence in our own abilities. Breaking free from dependence means learning to trust yourself again. It means recognizing that you have everything you need to succeed already within you. You don't need someone else's permission to be great. You don't need someone else's approval to follow your path. The only approval that matters is your own. Let's take an example from everyday life. Imagine you have a big decision to make, perhaps about your career, your relationship, or a personal project. What's the first thing most people do? They ask for advice, right? They talk to their friends, their family. They ask people who've been in similar situations. This isn't wrong, but notice how often it leads to confusion. Too many voices, too many opinions, and suddenly you don't know what you want anymore. Now, imagine a different scenario. Instead of asking everyone around you, you sit quietly with yourself. You take time to reflect. You meditate. You listen to your own intuition. You let the answer rise up from within. You trust that you know what's best for you. This is where true power lies, when you stop looking outward and start trusting the wisdom within. In Buddhism, this idea of turning inward is central. It is said that the answers you seek are already inside you. You just need to be still enough to hear them. But how can you hear them when you are constantly bombarded with the noise of other people's opinions? This is why solitude is so important. When you are alone, you can hear the quiet voice within, the voice of your true self. Now, I am not saying that you should never seek guidance, but understand that true guidance should lead you back to yourself. A wise teacher does not give you the answers. A wise teacher helps you discover the answers within yourself. This is the essence of breaking free from dependence. Think about the lotus flower. It grows in the mud, surrounded by dirt, yet it rises above the water, untouched, blooming in its full glory. It doesn't rely on the mud to bloom. It uses its own strength to rise. In the same way, you must rise above the need for external validation, for approval, for guidance from others. You must bloom from within, using your own inner strength. Breaking free from dependence also means accepting responsibility for your life. When you rely on others, you give them control over your happiness, your success, your decisions. But when you take back that control, you realize that you are the master of your destiny. You have the power to shape your life as you wish. The Buddha once said, "No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path." This is a powerful truth. You are the one who must walk your path. Others can walk beside you for a time, but they cannot walk it for you. They cannot carry you when the road gets tough. That is your task. And once you accept this, once you embrace your own power, you become unstoppable. Now, this doesn't mean the journey will always be easy. There will be challenges, moments of doubt, times when you feel tempted to turn to others for help. But in those moments, Remind yourself of your own strength. Remember that you have the ability to solve your own problems, to find your own way. In Buddhism, there is a term called upaya, which means skillful means. It refers to the idea that each person must find their own way to enlightenment. There is no single path that works for everyone. You must find the path that is right for you, and you can only do that by looking within. This is why breaking free from dependence is so important. If you are constantly following someone else's path, you will never discover your own. So, my dear student, take this to heart. You do not need to rely on anyone else for your happiness, your success, or your peace of mind. Everything you need is already within you. Trust yourself, believe in your own power, and you will find that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. Breaking free from dependence is not easy, but it is the only way to true freedom, true strength, and true peace. When you stop depending on others and start relying on yourself, you become unstoppable. You are no longer held back by the opinions, doubts, or limitations of others. You are free to follow your own path, to create your own destiny. This is the ultimate freedom, the freedom that comes from self-reliance. So, take a deep breath, look within, and trust yourself. The journey may be long, but it is worth it. Because in the end, the only person who can truly guide you, the only person who can truly make you unstoppable, is you. The Buddhist concept of non-attachment. Welcome back, my friend. You have come far, and now we stand before one of the most profound lessons in Buddhism, non-attachment. It may sound like a simple idea, but its meaning goes much deeper than most realize. To be free, to be truly unstoppable, you must first understand the power of letting go. We live in a world where attachment is everywhere. We attach ourselves to people, objects, ideas, and even our own emotions. We say, "This is mine, and I cannot lose it." But what happens when we hold too tightly to something? We become afraid of losing it, don't we? That fear becomes a chain that binds us. Instead of enjoying what we have, we live in constant worry. Attachment makes us vulnerable to suffering. It's like holding sand in your hand. If you grip it too tightly, it slips away. But if you hold it gently, it stays with you. Non-attachment, however, does not mean that you must give up everything and live in isolation. It doesn't mean that you cannot love, care, or have goals. Non-attachment is about how you relate to the things in your life. It is about understanding that everything is temporary, that nothing in this world is permanent. People come and go, situations change, and even the strongest emotions fade. Once you understand this, you can begin to let go of your need to control everything. Think of it this way. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt extremely attached to an outcome? Maybe it was a relationship, a job, or even a personal goal. You wanted it so badly that the thought of losing it terrified you. But when that thing didn't work out the way you hoped, you felt crushed, right? This is the suffering that attachment brings. But now, imagine if you had approached the same situation with a sense of non-attachment. You could have still loved, still pursued your goal, but with the understanding that whether it stayed or left, it wouldn't control your happiness. You would have been free. In Buddhism, non-attachment is a central teaching of the Four Noble Truths. Buddha teaches that attachment is one of the main causes of suffering. When we cling to things, we create a sense of need, and when those things change or disappear, as they always do, we experience pain. But by practicing non-attachment, we can let go of this suffering. We can enjoy things fully while they are here, and release them with grace when they leave. Imagine yourself as a river, flowing calmly. The water carries along many things, leaves, twigs, maybe even boats. But the river does not try to hold on to them. It lets them pass through. You too are like this river. Events, people, and emotions will come into your life, but you do not need to hold on to them forever. Let them flow. Non-attachment allows you to flow with life, not against it. Now, you may be wondering, if I practice non-attachment, won't I stop caring about things? Won't I become indifferent to the world? No, not at all. Non-attachment doesn't mean indifference. It means living fully in the present without trying to control the future. It means loving deeply, but not out of fear of losing that love. When you practice non-attachment, you actually love more purely because you are not weighed down by expectations or fear. In relationships, for example, non-attachment helps you love others for who they are, not for what you hope they will give you or how they will make you feel. It is about appreciating the time you have with someone, but knowing that if they leave or change, you will still be whole. Think of the lotus flower in Buddhism, a symbol of purity and enlightenment. It blooms beautifully in muddy waters, untouched by the dirt around it. This is what non-attachment does for your heart. It allows you to bloom, untouched by the ups and downs of life. Let's consider an example from the life of Buddha himself. Before he attained enlightenment, Buddha, as Prince Siddhartha, had everything: wealth, power, family. Yet, he realized that even with all these things, there was still suffering. He was attached to his kingdom, his identity, and the idea of permanence in his life. But once he let go of those attachments, he found true peace. He wandered into the forest with nothing, and it was there, in solitude and simplicity, that he discovered the truth of non-attachment. Non-attachment also applies to your emotions. Often, we become attached to our feelings, whether good or bad. We chase happiness and run from sadness, hoping to control what we feel. But emotions, like everything else, are temporary. They rise and fall, just like waves in the ocean. If you cling to them, you will be tossed around by the currents. But if you practice non-attachment, you learn to observe your emotions without being controlled by them. You feel happiness, but you don't cling to it. You feel sadness, but you don't let it overwhelm you. One powerful practice in Buddhism to develop non-attachment is meditation. When you meditate, you learn to observe your thoughts and emotions as they come and go, without attaching to them. You may have a thought like, "I am angry," but through meditation, you can step back and realize that this anger is just a passing cloud in the sky of your mind. It is not permanent, and it does not define you. By practicing this daily, you begin to live with more freedom, not just during meditation, but in all areas of life. Non-attachment is not about renouncing life. It's about embracing life fully, with an open hand. You are free to enjoy all the beauty and love that life offers, but you are also free from the pain that comes when you try to hold on too tightly. You become unstoppable because nothing can shake you. Whether things go your way or not, you remain at peace. So, my friend, as you continue on this journey, take a moment to reflect. What are you holding on to that is weighing you down? What would happen if you let go, even just a little? Could you find more peace, more freedom, more joy? Remember, non-attachment is not something you master overnight. It's a practice, a daily reminder to let go of the things that cause suffering. But with time, you will find that by releasing your grip on life, you can actually hold more of it. Let the river flow. Trust the process. And remember, you are already whole. You don't need to cling to anything to find peace. It is already within you. Embracing solitude for personal growth. Let me ask you something, young one. How often do you find yourself running from being alone? Many people fear solitude because they think it means isolation, or worse, loneliness. But solitude is a very different thing. When you learn to embrace solitude, it becomes one of your greatest teachers. It's a space where you discover who you truly are, without the noise of the world clouding your mind. Solitude is where personal growth happens. In today's world, we are constantly connected. Social media, work, friends, family. We rarely have time to simply be with ourselves. We look to others for guidance, approval, and sometimes even identity. But have you ever considered that the answers you seek may not be found outside, but within? This is where the wisdom of solitude comes into play. In Buddhism, there is great emphasis on going inward. Meditation, for example, is not something done in a group. It is a deeply personal journey. When you meditate, you are alone with your thoughts, your emotions, and your inner self. This solitude is not about escaping the world, but engaging with your own mind in a way that allows you to grow. Take the Buddha, for example. Before reaching enlightenment, he spent years in solitude, meditating and reflecting. It wasn't through the advice of others that he found the truth. It was through his time alone, in deep introspection, that the Buddha discovered the path to inner peace. And this path, young one, is not reserved for only the Buddha. It is available to you, too. When you embrace solitude, You begin to face parts of yourself that you might have ignored or been too distracted to notice. In the quiet of being alone, you can't hide from your thoughts or feelings. You might be surprised by what comes up. Maybe you'll realize that you've been avoiding something important, or that you have untapped strengths you never noticed before. Solitude gives you the space to explore these things fully. Now, solitude doesn't mean you isolate yourself from the world forever. It's not about shutting people out or avoiding relationships. Solitude is about creating time and space for yourself in a way that helps you grow. It's about becoming comfortable with your own company, learning to trust your thoughts, and strengthening your mind. One of the great lessons of Buddhism is that everything you need is already within you. You don't need to look for validation or direction outside of yourself. But how will you ever discover this if you're constantly distracted by the world? Solitude is a gift because it gives you the opportunity to discover your inner wisdom, your inner strength. Imagine this. You're climbing a mountain. If you're constantly checking in with others, asking if you're on the right path, stopping to compare your progress, you'll slow yourself down. But if you keep climbing, trusting your instincts, focusing on your steps, you'll reach the top faster and stronger. Solitude is like that climb. It requires patience, trust, and focus, but it leads to personal growth like no other journey. In the quiet moments of solitude, you may find clarity about who you are, what you want, and where you're going. You might discover that the doubts and fears you've been carrying aren't really yours. They're things you've picked up from the outside world. In solitude, you have the chance to let go of what isn't serving you and focus on what truly matters to you. As you walk this path of solitude, you'll also notice something else. Your resilience will grow. When you rely on others too much, you might feel weak or lost when they aren't around. But the more comfortable you become with being alone, the more you realize how strong you are. You'll start to trust yourself more, and with that trust comes a sense of power. You'll understand that no matter what challenges come your way, you have the strength within you to overcome them. In solitude, you also learn to listen more deeply to yourself and to the world around you. Without distractions, you can hear your inner voice more clearly. You can tune into the wisdom that's always been there, but may have been drowned out by the noise of everyday life. This is the voice that will guide you in your personal growth. This is the voice of your true self. Think of solitude like the fertile soil that allows a tree to grow strong and tall. Without time alone, it's hard to dig deep and find the roots that will support you. But with solitude, those roots can grow strong, anchoring you in a sense of self that isn't easily shaken by the ups and downs of life. I want you to know that embracing solitude isn't always easy. At first, it might feel uncomfortable or even scary. You might feel restless, wanting to check your phone or distract yourself in some way. But if you sit with that discomfort, if you allow yourself to be still and alone, something magical happens. Slowly, the discomfort fades, and in its place, you find peace. Buddhism teaches us that everything is temporary. Our thoughts, our feelings, our experiences. When you're in solitude, you get to witness this firsthand. You might feel anxious or uncertain at the start, but with time, those feelings pass. And what remains is a deep sense of calm, a sense of knowing that you are enough just as you are. So, young one, don't fear solitude. Embrace it. Make time for it in your life, whether it's through meditation, quiet walks, or simply sitting in stillness. Use that time to connect with yourself, to learn from your inner teacher. Because in solitude, you will find the space to grow, to heal, and to discover your true potential. And remember, solitude is not about being alone forever. It's about creating a balance between engaging with the world and taking time to nurture your inner self. The more you practice being alone, the more you'll realize that you are never truly alone. You carry the wisdom of the universe within you, and that wisdom becomes clearer in the quiet moments of solitude. Embrace this path, young one, and you will find that solitude is not something to fear but something to cherish. It is the key to unlocking your personal growth, your strength, and your peace. Meditation, the path to self-mastery. In the quiet stillness of the morning, before the world wakes up, there is a space where you can truly begin to understand yourself. This space is meditation. It's not just a practice, it's a journey to mastering the self. Let us explore this journey with simplicity and clarity, For in the heart of meditation lies the path to true self-mastery. Imagine, if you will, a calm lake. The surface of this lake is perfectly still, reflecting the sky above without any distortion. This stillness allows you to see the world clearly. Meditation is like this calm lake. When you sit in silence, you allow the ripples of daily life to settle. The more you practice, the clearer your inner reflection becomes. To begin, find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Sit comfortably, but not too comfortably that you fall asleep. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Feel the air enter your lungs, and then exhale slowly. Each breath is a reminder of the present moment. You are here, now. This is where your journey begins. Focus on your breath. As thoughts arise, and they will, gently guide your attention back to your breathing. It's natural for the mind to wander, just as it's natural for waves to appear on the surface of the lake. The key is to observe these thoughts without judgment and return to your breath. This simple act of returning is where you build strength. In Buddhism, meditation is known as dhyana, which means to think deeply or to contemplate. This practice helps to quiet the mind and connect with the deeper layers of your being. It's through this deep contemplation that you begin to understand the nature of your thoughts, emotions, and the self. As you continue to meditate, you may notice changes within yourself. Perhaps you feel less reactive to stress or more at peace with yourself. This is the power of self-mastery. Meditation trains you to respond to life's challenges with calm and clarity, rather than with haste and confusion. Every day, set aside a few minutes for meditation. Start with just 5 minutes if that's all you can manage. As you grow more comfortable, you can extend your practice. The consistency of this practice will strengthen your inner resolve, much like regular exercise builds physical strength. Remember, meditation is not about achieving a state of constant bliss. Instead, it's about developing a profound understanding of yourself. Through this understanding, you learn to handle life's ups and downs with grace. This practice cultivates a sense of inner peace that is unaffected by external circumstances. In the teachings of Buddhism, the Buddha often spoke of meditation as a way to overcome suffering and gain enlightenment. By observing the nature of your thoughts and emotions, you come to see that they are transient and not the essence of who you are. This realization is a powerful step towards self-mastery. The true benefit of meditation is not immediately visible. It is like planting a seed. At first, you do not see the growth, but with time and care, it flourishes into a strong, beautiful plant. Similarly, the benefits of meditation will gradually reveal themselves in your life. You will find yourself more centered, more mindful, and more capable of facing life's challenges. In this practice, you are not alone. Many great masters and practitioners have walked this path before you. Their wisdom and experiences guide you, reminding you that meditation is a journey that unfolds in its own time. Be patient with yourself and trust in the process. As you deepen your practice, you will find that meditation becomes a natural part of your life. It is not something separate from your daily activities, but something that enhances every moment. With each breath, you become more in tune with your true self and the world around you. Embrace meditation as a daily ritual, a sacred space where you connect with your innermost being. Through this practice, you cultivate the strength and wisdom needed to navigate life with a calm and balanced mind. In the stillness of meditation, you uncover the true power of self-mastery, overcoming fear of being alone. In the silence of solitude, one can find the true essence of peace. Yet, for many, the thought of being alone brings unease, even fear. Why is it that the idea of solitude can feel so daunting? It is not the solitude itself, but the shadowy thoughts and emotions that arise when we are alone. These are the shadows we must face, understand, and embrace. Imagine the mind as a tranquil pond. When the pond is disturbed by stones, these stones are our fears, doubts, and anxieties. Its surface becomes rippled, and clarity is lost. Solitude is the stillness that allows the pond to settle. In this calm, you can see the depth of your own being clearly. Yet, many fear this clarity because it means confronting parts of ourselves we might rather avoid. To overcome this fear, we must first understand it. Fear of being alone often stems from a deep-seated belief that we are not enough on our own. We fear judgment, loneliness, and the unknown aspects of our inner selves. But in solitude, we have the opportunity to meet ourselves, not as we appear to others, but as we truly are. Buddhism teaches us that every fear is an illusion created by the mind. Just as the moon is not afraid of the clouds that momentarily obscure its light, we must learn not to fear the illusions that cloud our inner vision. Solitude is not an enemy. It is a friend that reveals the truth hidden beneath our fears. It offers us the chance to explore our deepest thoughts and feelings without the interference of external voices. When faced with solitude, let us approach it as a sacred space rather than a punishment. Just as a sculptor chisels away at a block of marble to reveal a statue within, solitude helps us chisel away at the layers of societal expectations, fears, and doubts to reveal our true selves. It is in this quiet space that we can understand who we really are, beyond the roles and identities we adopt in the company of others. Embrace the silence as a teacher. In moments of quiet, listen to the whispers of your soul. These whispers are not to be feared but understood. They carry wisdom and insights that are often drowned out by the noise of daily life. When you allow yourself to be alone, you create a sanctuary where these whispers can be heard and understood. Fear of solitude can also be a fear of change. Being alone often means being alone with our thoughts about what could be or should be. This can be unsettling. However, it is in the acceptance of solitude that we find the strength to embrace change with grace. Solitude gives us the space to reflect on our lives, our desires, and our goals. It helps us to understand that change is a natural part of life, not something to be feared. In Buddhist practice, solitude is a means of self-discovery and enlightenment. The Buddha spent years in meditation and solitude, not to escape the world, but to understand it deeply. His journey teaches us that solitude is a powerful tool for personal growth. By facing our fears and embracing our solitude, we, too, can embark on a journey of self-discovery and transformation. As you face the fear of being alone, remember that it is a path to freedom, not imprisonment. Solitude allows you to reconnect with your innermost self and discover the peace that lies within. It is not a void but a vast space filled with potential and clarity. By overcoming the fear of solitude, you unlock the door to your inner strength and resilience. So, when you find yourself alone, see it not as a moment of isolation, but as an opportunity to connect with your true self. Let go of the fear and embrace the silence. In this embrace, you will find the strength to face the world with a new perspective, unshaken by the fears that once held you back. The role of self-reliance in enlightenment. In the quiet moments of solitude, we find the true essence of ourselves. It is in these moments, away from the constant buzz of daily life, that we come to understand what it means to be truly self-reliant. Imagine, if you will, a serene pond untouched by the ripples of external forces. It remains calm and clear, reflecting the sky above. This stillness is much like the state of mind we seek when we rely on ourselves. Self-reliance is not just about being independent. It's about discovering the strength that lies within us when we are alone. In Buddhism, this is often referred to as finding your own path. Buddha spoke of the middle way, finding balance through personal experience rather than relying solely on external guidance. Just as the pond reflects its surroundings clearly, when we rely on ourselves, we begin to reflect our true nature. When we are self-reliant, we are not dependent on others for validation or direction. Instead, we trust in our own judgment and inner wisdom. This is a powerful form of liberation. Think about a time when you had to make a decision alone. Did you rely on others' opinions, or did you listen to your inner voice? It is in these moments of self-reliance that we grow the most. Consider the example of a solitary mountain. It stands tall and strong, unaffected by the storms that may pass by. Similarly, when we cultivate self-reliance, we become like that mountain. We are not easily swayed by external circumstances or the opinions of others. Our strength comes from within, and this inner strength is what leads us towards enlightenment. Self-reliance also means taking responsibility for our actions and decisions. In Buddhism, we learn that our actions shape our destiny. When we rely on others, we give away our power to shape our own path. By trusting ourselves and taking responsibility for our choices, we empower ourselves to create the life we desire. Furthermore, self-reliance fosters a deep sense of inner peace. When we are not constantly seeking validation or approval from others, we find a profound sense of calm within. This inner peace is a key aspect of enlightenment. It allows us to navigate life's challenges with grace and clarity. To achieve true self-reliance, it is essential to practice self-awareness. Take time each day to sit in stillness and reflect on your thoughts and feelings. This practice helps you become more attuned to your inner voice and strengthens your sense of self-reliance. Through this reflection, you can understand your strengths and weaknesses, and you can make more informed decisions based on your own insights. In the journey towards enlightenment, self-reliance is a vital step. It is about finding the courage to trust yourself and to follow your own path. As you cultivate self-reliance, you will discover a deeper connection to your true self. This connection is the foundation of enlightenment, and it empowers you to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. So, embrace self-reliance as a powerful tool on your journey. Trust in your own wisdom, take responsibility for your choices, and cultivate inner peace. Through these practices, you will find that you are not only self-reliant, but also unstoppable in your quest for enlightenment. Stories of Buddhist masters who thrived in solitude. In the quiet corners of history, where the echoes of great souls linger, we find stories of Buddhist masters who embraced solitude and emerged as beacons of wisdom. Their tales are not just ancient legends. They are timeless lessons on the power of being alone. Take, for instance, the story of Bodhidharma, the great monk who brought Zen Buddhism to China. Legend tells that Bodhidharma spent 9 years in silent meditation facing a wall. Imagine this: 9 years of solitude, with no one to speak to, no distractions, only the steady hum of his own thoughts. People may have questioned his actions, but it was in this profound solitude that he attained deep insight and became a master of Zen. His unwavering dedication teaches us that true understanding often requires stepping away from the world and facing oneself. Another poignant tale is that of the Japanese monk, Hakuin Ekaku. Hakuin, renowned for his teachings on Zen, spent years in isolation to deepen his practice. His experiences in solitude were not easy. He faced loneliness, doubt, and physical hardship. Yet, through this challenging solitude, he found the clarity and strength that defined his teachings. His story reminds us that even in the darkest times of solitude, profound growth and enlightenment can occur. Consider also the life of the Indian sage Ramana Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi left his family and everything he knew at a young age to live in the solitude of the holy mountain of Aranakula. His years of solitary meditation in this sacred place led to profound spiritual realizations. He often spoke of how being alone with one's true self is essential for understanding the nature of existence. His journey underscores that solitude can be a powerful teacher, leading to a deeper connection with one's true self. Each of these masters found their path not by seeking the company of others, but by embracing solitude and turning inward. They discovered that solitude is not a place of emptiness, but a space where one's inner wisdom can flourish. In their solitude, they faced their fears, questioned their beliefs, and ultimately found a clarity that transformed their lives. In Buddhism, solitude is revered as a path to enlightenment. It is not about escaping the world, but about finding the space to understand it more deeply. When you are alone, you are free from the constant influences and opinions of others. This freedom allows you to explore your own thoughts and feelings without interference. You can listen more closely to your inner voice, which often gets drowned out by the noise of daily life. Solitude is also a way to confront and overcome your inner struggles. In the quiet, you face your doubts, fears, and insecurities. Without external distractions, you are left alone with your thoughts, and this can be both challenging and liberating. It is in this confrontation with yourself that you begin to understand your true nature. This self-awareness is a crucial step toward personal growth and transformation. Buddhist masters teach us that solitude is a powerful tool for self-discovery. It is in these moments of quiet reflection that we can uncover the depths of our own being. When we are alone, we have the opportunity to connect with our inner selves and gain insights that are not always accessible in the hustle and bustle of daily life. Embracing solitude allows us to develop a stronger sense of self-reliance. We learn to trust ourselves and our own abilities. This self-reliance is not about rejecting the help of others, but about recognizing that we have the strength and wisdom within us to navigate life's challenges. When we are alone, we become more resilient and capable of handling whatever comes our way. As you reflect on the stories of these great masters, remember that solitude is not a punishment but a gift. It is a chance to step away from the chaos of the world and find peace within yourself. By embracing solitude, you open the door to profound personal growth and enlightenment. The stories of Bodhidharma, Hakuin Ekaku, and Ramana Maharshi remind us that true wisdom often emerges from the quiet moments of solitude. Finding your inner guide, the path to self-trust. In the quiet stillness of the forest, a single leaf drifts gently to the ground, guided only by the wind. It does not question its journey, nor does it resist. It simply trusts the process. So too must we learn to trust ourselves, especially when we walk alone. Finding your inner guide means learning to listen to the subtle whispers of your own heart. In Buddhism, this is called inner wisdom or bodhicitta, the awakened mind. This wisdom is not loud or demanding. It is a gentle nudge, a quiet voice that tells you what feels right, what aligns with your true self. It is your compass in the vast sea of choices and uncertainties. When you are alone, without the clamor of others' opinions and expectations, you can hear this inner guide more clearly. It is in solitude that the noise of the world fades, and the truth of who you are begins to shine through. This is why solitude is such a powerful teacher. It strips away the layers of influence and pretense, allowing you to connect with the core of your being. Trusting yourself begins with understanding that you are capable, that you have within you all that you need to make the right decisions. This trust does not come from arrogance or ego, but from a deep, profound awareness of your own strengths and values. It means acknowledging that, though you may face doubts and fears, your inner guide is always there, whispering truths and guiding you towards what is best for you. In moments of solitude, practice turning inward. Sit quietly and ask yourself simple questions. What do I truly want? What feels right in this moment? The answers will come, not from a place of frantic searching, but from a calm, centered place within. Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." By finding your inner guide, you align your thoughts and actions with your true self, creating a life that reflects your deepest values and desires. When you trust yourself, you build a strong foundation upon which to stand, no matter what challenges come your way. The journey to self-trust involves patience and practice. It is not always easy to hear the soft voice of your inner guide amidst the noise of everyday life. Yet, the more you practice being alone with yourself, the more attuned you will become to this inner wisdom. Remember, your inner guide is not there to tell you what to do in every moment. It is there to help you navigate the path of your life with confidence and clarity. When you trust in this guidance, you empower yourself to make choices that are true to who you are, rather than who others think you should be. Solitude offers you the space to reflect, to connect with your inner self, and to find the courage to follow your own path. It is a sacred time for introspection and growth, a chance to deepen your understanding of yourself and your place in the world. By embracing this solitude and trusting your inner guide, you become more resilient, more self-assured, and ultimately unstoppable. In the practice of Buddhism, the path to enlightenment is often described as a journey of self-discovery and inner growth. This journey requires you to look within, to trust your inner wisdom, and to follow the guidance that arises from your own heart. As you continue on this path, you will find that your inner guide becomes a trusted companion, leading you towards a life of greater fulfillment and peace. As you walk this path alone, remember that you are never truly alone. Your inner guide is always with you, providing the wisdom and support you need to navigate the journey of life. Trust in this guidance, and you will find the strength and clarity to overcome any obstacle and achieve your goals. So, embrace the solitude, listen to the whispers of your inner guide, and trust in the journey that unfolds before you. Through this practice, you will discover a profound sense of inner peace and strength, and you will come to realize that you are truly unstoppable. The unstoppable mindset, how solitude leads to resilience. In the quiet of the mountains, Where the wind whispers ancient secrets, we find a profound truth. Solitude builds an unstoppable spirit. When you are alone, you face your true self, unmasked by the distractions and demands of the outside world. This is where resilience begins, where your inner strength is forged in the solitude of your own being. Imagine a tree standing alone on a windswept hill. It bends and sways with the gusts, yet its roots dig deep into the earth. This tree does not have the shelter of a forest, nor the support of its neighbors. It stands alone, but in its solitude, it develops strength and flexibility. This is the essence of resilience that solitude nurtures within us. Alone, we learn to weather life's storms with grace and fortitude. When you are alone, you are stripped of external validation. No one is there to tell you how well you are doing or to offer support. It is in this state of being alone that you come face to face with your deepest fears and doubts. Yet, it is also here that you discover the boundless strength within you. This self-reliance is not born of arrogance, but of a quiet understanding that you have everything you need within yourself to overcome challenges. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to rise after a fall, and to face obstacles with unwavering determination. Solitude provides a unique training ground for this. Without the constant input from others, you begin to listen to your own voice, your own thoughts, and your own wisdom. You learn to trust yourself more deeply, to make decisions with confidence, and to handle difficulties with a calm and centered mind. Consider the lotus flower that blooms in the muddiest of waters. Its beauty emerges from the depths of muck and mire, untouched by the murkiness that surrounds it. Solitude allows you to become like this lotus, finding beauty and strength within yourself despite the challenges and uncertainties of life. It teaches you to rise above your circumstances, to find clarity and purpose amidst confusion and chaos. In Buddhism, the concept of dharma refers to the path of truth and righteousness. When you walk this path alone, you are more attuned to its subtle guidance. Solitude enables you to connect with this deeper truth, to understand your own path without the influence of others. It is through this connection that you build resilience, as you align your actions with your deepest values and insights. When we are alone, we also have the opportunity to cultivate mindfulness. This practice involves being fully present in the moment, observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment. Mindfulness strengthens our resilience by helping us to respond to situations with awareness rather than reaction. It teaches us to remain centered and composed, no matter what external pressures we face. Solitude also encourages self-discipline. When no one is watching, you must hold yourself accountable. This self-discipline nurtures a sense of responsibility and determination, qualities that are essential for resilience. It is through consistent practice and self-regulation that you develop the strength to persevere through challenges and maintain focus on your goals. The journey of solitude is not always easy. It requires patience, courage, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. Yet, it is precisely through this journey that you build an unstoppable mindset. Each moment of solitude, each challenge faced alone, adds to your reservoir of inner strength and resilience. In the quiet of your own company, you come to understand that you are not alone in your struggles. You are simply forging a path that is uniquely yours. Solitude is not a punishment, but a powerful teacher. It reveals your true character and helps you to develop the resilience needed to navigate the complexities of life with grace and confidence. As you continue on this journey, remember that resilience is not about never falling. It is about rising each time you do. Solitude provides the space for this rising, for discovering the strength that lies within you, waiting to be awakened. Embrace this time alone as a precious opportunity for growth, for it is in solitude that you cultivate the unshakable spirit that makes you unstoppable. In the end, it is not the absence of others that defines your resilience, but the presence of your own unwavering spirit. Through solitude, you become a beacon of strength and clarity, guiding yourself and others through the ebb and flow of life's challenges. Embrace this journey and let it transform you into the unstoppable force you are meant to be. Conclusion: the ultimate freedom through solitude. Welcome, seeker of truth. As we come to the end of our journey together, let us sit quietly and reflect on the path we have traveled. Solitude is not merely a state of being alone. It is a profound teacher, a gentle guide that whispers the secrets of the universe to those who listen with an open heart. Imagine a tranquil pond, its surface still and undisturbed. When you cast a stone into its waters, ripples form, spreading outward. This is akin to the distractions and noise of the world. But when the pond is calm, every detail becomes clear, every reflection crisp. Solitude is that still pond, revealing the clarity and depth of your true self. In solitude, you begin to see beyond the illusion of separation. You understand that you are not isolated, but deeply connected to the world around you. The quiet of solitude does not isolate you. It integrates you with your inner essence. This essence, untainted by external chaos, holds the key to your ultimate freedom. In the teachings of Buddhism, solitude is not about retreating from the world, but about reconnecting with the self. When Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, he was not seeking escape, but enlightenment. Solitude allowed him to see the truths that are often hidden by the noise and bustle of daily life. Similarly, when you embrace solitude, you are not fleeing from reality, but stepping into a space where the reality of your inner world becomes visible. Solitude grants you the freedom to explore the vast landscapes of your mind without the constraints imposed by others. It is in these moments of silence that you confront your fears, discover your strengths, and recognize your potential. The whispers of your heart become louder than the clamor of the outside world. You learn that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Consider this. The greatest masters and sages have spent years in solitude, not to escape the world, but to understand it better. They found that in the quiet moments alone, they could access a wisdom that was always within them. This wisdom is not a distant goal, but a present reality that you can tap into through your own moments of solitude. As you continue on your journey, remember that solitude is a practice, a sacred space where you cultivate your inner strength and clarity. It is not always easy, and it is not always comfortable, but it is always transformative. Embrace it as a friend, not a foe. Through solitude, you learn to stand strong, to be resilient, and to navigate the complexities of life with grace and wisdom. Now, take a deep breath and feel the stillness around you. Allow the peace of this moment to wash over you. In this peace, you are reminded that you are unstoppable. The challenges of life are but ripples on the surface of your inner pond. With each breath, you anchor yourself more firmly in the truth of who you are, one who is free, powerful, and whole. As we conclude, let this be your final reflection. Solitude is not a place to fear, but a space to cherish. It is where you find the ultimate freedom, the freedom to be yourself without the need for validation or approval. It is in this freedom that you become truly unstoppable, a force of nature guided by the clarity and strength you have cultivated within. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May you carry the lessons of solitude with you, finding peace and strength in the quiet moments of your life. Until we meet again, walk with courage and wisdom, knowing that in the silence, you are truly powerful.